Welcome, everyone, to a new chronicle, War in the Soul City. Hi, everybody. Session zeros are a little bit more casual than our normal role-playing sessions, but tonight we're going to be going over some of the important character relationships, important coterie purchases, and some of the other thises and that's that happen in coterie creation for session zero. So let me get some music started because I forgot that part. But what do we think here? So we're just getting started, and oops.
Get something with some banjo.
Let's do that. I don't know that that's very loud. Nope, I don't want that. Never mind. I want this playlist. Okay, so. Well, it's not very loud. Anyway, yes. We are going to be creating a new coterie. We should go down the line and introduce each individual character and player. So, to start us off, how about we talk to the nerds? Lethality Complex, who is it that you will be playing this time around?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. My name is Lethality Complex, and I've decided to take a little bit of a trip back. If you remember from Chronicle 1 of San Antonio by Night, which you can find here on CoffeeCat Presents, I played a Toreador by the name of Amber Dupree. I've decided that I think the clan, now that I've got a bit more experience with the game, is worth another visit. And so I shall be playing Liv de Angelis of Clan Toreador.
And we have some lovely pictures in our Roll20 of our delightful coterie. So, next is Moxiepox. Who are you playing?
Hi, sorry, apparently I was muted. I am. Hi, everybody, I'm Moxie. I'm going to be playing a lovely little Nosferatu, or little.
You're kind
Little.
of cutting out a little bit. Yeah.
I'm going to be playing a Nosferatu by the name of Rodney Drummond.
Tell us a little bit
He
about
is.
Rodney.
I would call him a gentle giant with an obsession with cats. He's a social recluse, and I'm very much looking forward to playing him.
We didn't really get an idea, however, what Liv is like. So why don't you describe them for us?
Liv. How does one describe the majesty of one Liv de Angelis? In a word, she's a bitch. You talk back, that's a bullet in the skull. You get in my way, that's a bullet in the skull. You hurt my clan sister in any way, shape, or form, you better believe that's a bullet in the skull. 2 for the trouble, actually.
Speaking of clan sister, Macabre Derek.
Greetings, everybody. I'm sure many of you are familiar with me. My name's Macabre Derek, as was just introduced, and I will be playing Dana Rain tonight. And through this chronicle, we are going to end up exploring. Now, Dana is an off-color Toreador as well. the oddity comes from her here particular line is that instead of coming from the fashionista of the arts, she is very much of the metal community. She is very much the punk scene, which puts her at a little bit of odds with her own clan. More importantly, she's one of the few in this entire coterie who has a direct relation to the anarch movement in the city. She herself is absolutely despised to them. Well, we might get into the backstory a little bit later, but it is a very cautious game that she's forced to play. Her existence hinges on the protections that the Camarilla offer, yet she herself inwardly absolutely despises it. Makes for a very interesting set of affairs, especially given that Liv's in the picture.
Very interesting set of affairs indeed. Then we have a couple of somewhat independent, somewhat allied Camarilla. Our two Hikata. Spectre, why don't you give us an idea who it is that you're playing?
Hello, everyone. My name is Spectre Deflector. I'm a community illustrator. The character that I am playing today is Mercy of Clan Hikata. Now, Mercy is... well, she was embraced a bit older than the rest of these folk, but somehow feels quite a bit younger in all this vampire business. She's not really quite the creature of the night. In fact, she spent most of her life as an EMT, protecting people, trying to serve, trying to save. Kind of shitty when all that gets turned on its head, when suddenly you become not only just a parasitic monster, but one that likes to feed on the very guts of people. In addition to that, well, Clan Hikata has its secrets. Mercy is only a lady who understands order, who understands service. She doesn't know much about independence, personally. She's very much reliant on, at this point, what her coterie can offer and show her into the world of darkness. She's very much reliant on her broodmate brother, Malice.
And Mojo, give us an idea of who Malice is. And who you are.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mojo Jojo, a loving member of this entire group and many of our other channels and supporters who just happened to get lucky enough to be able to join this game. I am playing Malice. Spectre just mentioned broodmate and brother Mercy. Malice was and is a medical examiner. Not sure how he's taken by the rest of the Camarilla. He's at least respected enough that he's been noticed as an ally to the Camarilla, even though he's still independent. Spends most of his time protecting himself and his broodmate, all while working in the comforts of the morgue.
Perfect. So, I guess to start us off is give us a little bit of history, each of you, on your characters. So there's some characters that will be having lore sheets. There's some others who will be not taking part in the lore sheets. But why don't we kind of go over what advantages those give you and kind of write down your relationships in a way with the other members of this little group of Camarilla and not. Who wants to go first?
I'd be happy to go first, especially since I would say that mine has quite the impact on our dear coterie stats.
All right, then go ahead.
I am a sect war veteran. I fought the horrors of the Sabbat as they ran through the city of Jackson. And slaughtered more of them than I could count. Doing this, however, is giving me a very deep insight into where things lie within a certain subsection of the city. The domain that I and the rest of my coterie call home, and a little ways around. As such, all of us immediately start with 2 dots portal on in our domain, without even spending a dot. And for me, well, I get 2 dice to relevant streetwise larceny and stealth pools while I'm in the other 2 domains.
Nice. It's gonna come in handy, I'm sure. Rodney, what are you contributing to this coterie?
Well, I'm a descendant of Zelios. Meaning I've got a decent-sized haven that I would like to give to my coterie. I need to kind of figure out what I'm doing with that. I do believe I sent you stats for coffee.
Yes, I do have all the stats. What is it that you did for these Toreador, or that they did for you, that caused you to be so open?
I'm a gentleman at heart, and I would hate to see 2 lovely ladies go without a home. 3 lovely ladies go without a home.
Yes, because you have opened it up to your Hekata friends, yes?
Yes. Not sure about opening it up yet, but yes, I'm a gentleman at heart, and a home is what they need. Yes. So he also gets to split 2 dots between either or both of post-turn and security system. And I would like to put 1 in post-turn and 1 in security system as well.
Okay.
So that would be a 3 dot post-turn and a 2 dot security, if we haven't done everything up.
Yeah, we'll go at, we'll just kind of confirm all of the notes.
Yeah.
About, the coterie building, because we still have to kind of do that and put that on everybody's sheets and make notes for myself and all of that, so.
Yeah, it's a little...
It's a lot.
confusing.
You want to rush right into it, I know.
Mercy, what are you contributing to this coterie?
Well, if we're talking about law sheets, simply said, unlike other parasites, Mercy needs a little more than blood. It needs the heart, the liver, the lungs, and all the other squirmy bits inside. Hell, the blood is just hors d'oeuvres. It's kind of horrific, really. I ain't feeling like I'm too understanding of it. It's not like all that cute shit, any of that frou-frou shit like them Toreador or the Gangrel can just give them dinner plates a gentle kiss and tuck them in, but I gotta think about things. I gotta think about it hard. And I gotta have avenues. On the plus side, I've gotten good at this. Too good. Too good for my, well, gentle affiliations. That said, if anyone ever has to think about it, they have me do the thinking. I get successes on all rolls considered when trying to put into process a murder, as long as I have a day ahead of time to think about what I want to do, how I want to do it. On the plus side, in addition to that, I always know how to dispose of a body. Always. That falls on my brother. You really do be getting me out of the worst of trouble.
Well, that seems like a tag to Malice. What are you contributing?
Let's see. To the coterie?
As far as like your lore sheets and your skills and things, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Skilled necromancer, natural necromancer at heart. I will be contributing one with lore sheets, viscous. You can still eat flesh in lieu of drinking blood, fighting a mortal and causing aggravated wounds. Acts in all ways like drinking blood, so not only am I causing them aggravated damage, I'm consuming blood points at the same time. And, well, as my dear sister just said, when you've got the chance to plan the perfect murder, why not send a murderer as well? You're a serial killer. Or maybe you just spent a lot of time studying it. You get 2 extra dice rolls to study a murder scene or to track down killers. In addition, you worked with law enforcement, mortal, kindred, or both. Some cases, whether it's through sending them anonymous emails or as a direct consultant, have 3 dots to spend between contacts with police force, contacts with investigators and kindred society, and status. So I have 2 dots contact with the Hound Spencer Quinn, and 1 dot status in the Camarilla. It's an investigator.
All of which will come in handy, I'm sure.
Yes. As to the rest of it, well, I have plenty of ways of removing and disposing the bodies. Probably work. Probably work with the circulatory system, either in assistance in providing bodies for, well, those with my sister's particular predilections for food, or in the disposal of bodies that need to have disappear. Access not only to a crematorium, but to, well, yeah, something that gets the job done a whole lot easier. Ashes to ashes.
Of course. And Dana is probably the more politically minded.
You mean the only one that's not completely murderous intent every 2 seconds? I think that's what you're implying.
Potentially. The leash that reins them all in, maybe?
Maybe Rodney, benefit of the doubt, but he is Nosferatu. So, could be just really good at hiding bodies. As opposed to the others where it's like, hey, meat's on the table tonight. We'll find out. By base set, there is nothing that I have as far as lore sheets that provide anything to the coterie itself.
Mm-hmm.
What what is of interest, however, is that Dana runs a small hole in the ground bar. It's kind of a metal club, a lot of alternative music and what have you. A very small stage in a very cramped room called the Armory. The Armory itself is, well, it's exactly what you expect. You end up seeing a whole bunch of booze lined up behind the counter stage on the far side, whole bunch of photos of various individuals who might have got their start, bunch of teens or college students trying to end up playing their music as loud as possible on the stage, trying to end up getting in place. Place looks trashy, and this is causing a little bit of conflict with Dana because despite the fact of its look, doesn't want to change anything, but it's not quite adjusted to her Toreador sensibilities. The fear that Dana has primarily with it is that in changing it, she is changing herself as well, and maybe losing something important along the way.
It's important to hang on to those things that remind you to act human. Or so the court would have you believe, anyway.
Yeah, so they would have me believe. Plus side, this little hole in the ground is mine. And I also end up maintaining a small group of regulars that allow me at least some degree of feeding. And it means that everybody who's important to me is close, though I don't want to let anybody know that.
Nope.
I got a few employees in the wings who are able to end up helping out, a few of the regulars who I feed on, a place where I earn a little bit of scratch in order to end up being able to end up sticking around, so for the most part, I'm set in that regard. But if it was just that, I wouldn't have any problems. But my problems are just beginning. And they'll be coming through that door any night. And when they do, I have to be ready. I think that's primarily the reason why I'm with this coterie in the first place. As much as I hate to share it, honestly, I'd rather just be left alone at this point. But fact of the matter is that
there's a job to be done. There is a job to be done. And all of you have been collected together by Prince Marius Calhoun himself for this purpose, because the Anarchs have been becoming more and more rowdy in recent weeks. So, as far as this coterie goes, what is the name of this coterie?
Well, I have one, but it only fits 4 out of 5.
I'm curious.
Man-eaters, every one of them.
Well, yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
It's also very
you're
on the
not
nose.
wrong.
It's also very on the nose.
I care, but
Now you have that goddamn song running through my head. Thank you.
She's a man-eater.
okay, I'm out.
I don't know.
I haven't really thought of names for our coterie yet. Maybe that's something we can come back to.
Well, it's something that we can put on the table to discuss, because that's something that is ultimately very important, as while the two Hakata are really only noticed as allies to the Camarilla, they are part of this group.
Well, we're certainly not the iconoclasts.
Nope, certainly not.
Thank God.
And make out so much more.
Little do you know that there's a future iconoclasts.
Well, what do all of our characters share in common?
Well,
Alice is an investigator.
we have
So,
At least 2 investigators.
yeah.
We've got bruisers, we've got fighters.
it kind of looks like you
We got the
investigate.
political face.
Mm-hmm. Looks like you investigate and solve problems.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that we're the A team, but maybe the B team.
My brain went one letter lower, and all of a sudden I got
Plan B.
Alvin being screaming in my head.
Guys, Plan B.
The C team. Fuck you, chipmunks.
Goddamn.
I told you, I'm up 48 hours awake, right on nothing but caffeine. This is gonna get a little weird.
It's gonna get a little loopy. Yep.
Yeah, see, all I can think is Plan B, and I'm just like, no.
Sounds like
I've
a
got the same
contraceptive.
48. I've got the same 48, Derek. Only I'm running on pain. So
Yep.
When the caffeine stops working, I'll trade you.
Here you
I'd
go.
gladly give you.
I mean, coffee, you
Derek.
can say we are a form of contraceptive.
Okay. What? I'm trying to think of what Calhoun would call us.
Hmm.
What
That
what
would
is
be
something
probably
he would? Yeah, what is something he would say in court that we as a coterie would be like latch onto?
Hmm.
Ooh.
That is a very good question, isn't
I
it?
think I actually have some.
Oh,
Ooh.
do tell.
I gotta follow. It's one of those. I'm at the start of a train of thought, but I haven't reached the end yet.
Okay. Okay.
Put it out.
We'll follow this
Good
lead
help.
where it goes. Let's ask Calhoun himself. I mean, to be fair, I make a poor Marius Calhoun compared to Derek, but you know.
You do justice.
Just.
Well,
I don't got any ideas myself, so.
then in the meantime, we could put down some initial thoughts about what your thoughts are regarding the rest of your coterie mates. So, we're going to start with Malice.
Absolutely green with Mercy.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Mm.
Oh. Can I?
Trying to
Okay,
think.
there's a green dot there now.
Mhm.
Well, I apologize
Okay.
for running away so suddenly. I just got an amazing call.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's already.
I got the job.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Ah,
Which
There
also does mean that you're not going to be able to
Yep.
play.
it does mean that. Because I'm
Well,
due to
that's
start
saddening.
after everything done. I'm due to start on the 1st of December.
Ooh.
So once I've got the contract through and done all the paperwork and everything, but I actually did not expect to hear that news today.
Well,
I'm
I am
excited
slightly
for you,
saddened. I'm
buddy.
very glad and excited.
It's bittersweet.
It is with them.
It is. It's very bittersweet.
Mm-hmm.
However, I still offer Liv as a coterie-based NPC for you guys to call on when you need her, with all of the things that she is offering, because I think that would make sense. Because you're gonna leave you, she wouldn't leave you guys in the dust, especially not Dana or Rodney, who's been nice.
We've still got the two that Rodney can't make direct eye contact with. He can't do it.
So,
Yeah.
Can't happen.
I'm thinking yellow leaning to green for Rodney and Dana. Yellow leaning or red leaning to yellow with Liv.
Oh, that's interesting.
Malice does not trust Liv. I don't know why. Maybe it's the attitude, but
What does
the
he?
attitude.
What does he think about Dana?
That's what I'm saying. Rodney and Dana are both yellow leaning to green.
Okay. Okay.
Even though somewhere in the back of his head he probably shouldn't trust Dana.
Sorry to relate much like that.
Probably shouldn't trust anybody, but well, especially it's the only one he's been with forever.
So is it yellow for Dana?
Yeah, yellow leaning to green.
Okay. Why is it that?
Liv is not in the same boat. As I said, there's something that Malice just can't put his finger on. He just does not trust Liv. Like I said, I don't know if it's the attitude or if there's something else more to it. There's just something he can't quite put his finger on that says, do your job, you do it well, but I don't trust you. I never will.
Honestly, it's fair to show that level of caution around Liv, considering she kind of purports herself as a tool that the Camarilla uses to purge out things that they don't like. And because whilst yes, you're very well accepted in the Camarilla with the status that you possess for an independent, you're also still independent. So there's probably always that thought in the back of your mind that if I piss them off, they're gonna send her after me. And I know what she's capable of. So yeah, I don't trust that she's working another agenda that could result in the death of me or Mercy or both. Now, one moment, it just started pouring here and I need to go shut the window downstairs.
Alright.
Mercy. What are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, I'm green towards man. Knew that man in life just as well as death. He's my brother through and through. Seems. Liv, well, the moment we met, she put a gun to my face, so that was a little distressing. I'm not sure if she was flirting with me or... I guess I'll figure it out later. She's a bit on the yellow end for me. Dana seems to be a very upright woman, despite all the punkishness. My daddy did always warn me, though. I think I mostly respect her for her bit of an understanding of the political shit that seems to go around here. I can't quite put my head on that. It seems a little odd. Seems a little difficult, frankly. I'd put Dana at yellow. Rodney was... He seemed busy in his own stuff. Didn't really look at me much and immediately started burrowing in a big old stack of papers. Newspapers, to be exact. Started mumbling something and such about different kinds of random historical events that I knew nothing about. I humored him. Seems nice enough and gave me home. So I'd give him green. Considering I feel like I owe him a bit.
Thank you for the raid, Inaris. Yay! Welcome. This is a more casual session 0 session, but so I will be acknowledging some people in the chat. But
Raiders.
hello raiders. Welcome. So getting on to some of the others. Rodney, how do you feel about your coterie mates?
Oh, my coterie.
Malice is interesting. Although there was some talk about bringing my cats back from the dead. His heart's in the good place. Sure.
Your mic's kind of cut out, yeah.
Yellow on Malice.
I can't quite look any of the girls in the eye. They're all
So pretty.
too pretty. Mercy seems...
I'm interested to find out more about her. Green. Yellow on the other two girls.
Okay. Dana?
Also yellow.
Dana, what are your thoughts?
Let's see. Going down the line, Rodney would certainly end up being a yellow. He's Camarilla. By very nature, I might be reliant on him, but there is a threat. And it really doesn't help that when he comes into the room, I don't know, I do know why, but it just sucks all the air out of it. When it comes to Liv, I am also yellow. Yes, she might be of my clan, birthed of the same here Crimson Seed, but it's still Camarilla. She brags of her exploits, specifically in the conflict between the Camarilla and Sabbat. she brags on the body count and what she's done, how much of an enforcer she is. When they paired us together, I knew what it was. Lives the gun to my head. Sweet nothings, trying to end up being kind and very cordial. Sister. The clan Toreador. But I know that if I even give a slight bit of suspicion, she'll put 2 bullets in my skull. And if I'm lucky, it'll end there. I am red towards both mercy and malice. I am not just cautious about them. They're not anarch. That I can almost let slide. That's fine. But they're not Camarilla either. They're a wild card. And I do not like jokers in the deck when it comes down to putting my existence on the line. And that's what they are. They don't know real allegiance to the prince. It's their family. Everybody's heard of the Clan of Death. And because of that, I am very cautious around them. Rodney, I might be starting to warm up to, but maybe that's me just trying to hang on to something that isn't there anymore. Malice, very on-the-nose name. Mercy, clearly he had a pun to be made as a play off of each other. I have to end up playing up to live, end up making sure that at least it's a 2 for 2, which makes it Rodney being the deciding factor. I'm already here seeing this as a lot of trouble, but I gotta work with them. Otherwise, I'm ashes.
And live.
Start at the top and go around, shall we? Rodney. Rodney. Rodney is yellow. He's a fellow member of the Camarilla. I can trust that much that he should, at the very least, if he knows what is good, and I'm sure that he does, to keep the prince's best interests in mind. And I bet that I could trust him for that. However, he's Nosferatu. Not only does it look like someone misstepped with a boiling plate of hot lasagna, but he holds secrets. Many secrets. Secrets that could be dangerous. I trust him enough, but not so much that I'm not wary that he may be hiding something from me. Dana. Green. I know where she comes from. I'm not gonna begrudge her her past. I'm not gonna begrudge her being wary. But the blood that runs through our veins is much the same. got a good feeling that she won't step out of line, and if she doesn't, then I don't have to do something that I would, in the end, end up regretting. It's easy to be on one side of the gun, but not the other. Mercy. Yellow. I don't envy her lot. But she's trying her best with what she's got. And I can't, I could never fault her that. Where our hands are also covered with just as much blood, if not more so. Mine from the putting down of unruly individuals. Hers because it's necessary for feeding. And there's a little bit of a kinship in that, but in the same breath, it's best to note that we sit in the same ballpark. I'm as wary of her as I am of myself. And I'm sure she would feel the same. Malice. Red. There's a scent on the air around that man. The smell of blood. Mercy has it. Dana has it. Rodney has it. And he does too, but there's something extra there. The scent of rot. Of death. And every time it wafts past my nose, I can't help but feel my stomach turn just a little. For an independent, he matters quite a bit to the Camarilla. This means he's useful. Definitely so. But I can't help but shake that feeling that he has something crawling just beneath that skin of his that's unlike any of the rest of us. Something rotting that yet moves. And I don't like that feeling. So I'll work with him professionally. Of course. He as a recognized ally to the Camarilla, he deserves that much. But there's a little part of me that's just waiting for an excuse. And given the feeling that I've got, if I'm not the only one who feels that way, I'll be doing multiple people a favor.
Well, it certainly seems to that there are high tensions amongst this particular coterie. Everyone's on speaking terms, but that is about it.
When have we ever played a coterie that wasn't high tension?
If we did that, where would the drama come from?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well,
intercoterie conflict is what one calls the value play.
Look, Rodney is only on edge with Dana and Liv because they're both female and pretty. They are too pretty. And
This
there
poor
was a
boy.
mention,
Rodney was a Cleopatra. Oh my god!
and there was a mention from Jojo a while back.
About Malice to bring Rodney's cats back from the dead, and he didn't like that. So
In that
that's
conversation,
the reason those are yellow.
it was in that conversation. It was only that if Rodney wanted Malice to, would he even think of doing so?
Oh yeah. It's just that even existing, that option existing, he didn't like it.
I just
That's the
imagine
only
like
reason.
Malice bringing one of Rodney's dead cats back, and Rodney's just standing there in shock, and the theme of Pet Cemetery is playing in the back of his head. Like,
Honestly, I was thinking Reanimator.
Yes,
Yeah, that
yes,
too.
that's where I went with that.
Like, that's the only reason Rodney does not have greens all across the board. Like,
Otherwise, I mean, they're bordering on green. It's just that they're pretty ladies.
they're just too pretty, and he can't look them in the eyes, so he can't gauge them properly.
Or you could call me Tiffany. That's a masculine name. Could be. It's a woman's name. I don't know how to talk to you. Good. So they can shut up and listen.
Pretty much.
I don't know where that's from, but that is amazing.
It is.
That is SAO abridged.
I say abridged? I thought it was Helsing abridged.
Nope, that's SAO abridged. Specifically, it's the merchant in the first episode, the big black dude.
Right. I love how it's come out as a pentagram.
I mean, there's 5 characters.
5, that's what happens.
I mean, yes, Liv, sadly, is going to be one of those call me when you need me kind of NPCs.
call me
but...
when you want. Call me if need. Okay.
Yeah, because
I don't have near enough caffeine to handle this shit right now.
You're like, it's all right. Liv will take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Derek came up with the perfect name for Marius or this group.
Oh.
Dig Crew.
Love it.
We either go and find it, unbury it, or we bury it.
Call our. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say because we were busy digging ditches and burning bridges.
Dig Crew. Love it.
Slam in the back of my Dracula. Okay. We should call our haven the Burrows.
Oh
I
my
love
god,
that.
yes. Or the catacombs.
No, I
Burrows,
kind of like the
Jack.
burrows
Burrows
because
better.
it literally means that when it's mentioned, and anybody who's listening in, much like Dig Crew, right? If you're not in the know,
You ain't gonna know.
it just sounds like we're talking about construction or something.
Yeah.
Same thing with the burrows. It's like, oh, okay.
Implies we literally dug it out of the earth.
Well, actually, because of the whole Zelios thing.
Oh, hey, that's why Rodney has potence. Okay.
Okay, I love it.
Alright.
And meanwhile, there's Dana. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
I mean, he did take the 1 dot of sanctuary. So like, it says that your haven is a modern design. I think I was actually going to go with the labyrinth as the next one that I was going to pick up for him. Meaning that the haven is just full of fucking twists and turns and shit that people get lost in.
Booby traps.
You wonder who created that?
The booby trap is Liv.
Liv is the living booby trap.
Or Malice's undead creations waiting around the corner.
God, that's just given me a really interesting idea for like a hunting scenario. Where they like just herd humans into the haven and just
Oh, no.
let them go.
Fly, my pretties. Find your way through the corn maze.
Oh no, it's a Dead by Daylight scene.
Oh boy.
But so Black Wolf and Chat just mentioned. Did someone mention the Cannibal Core as a as a coterie name? And I'm like, that also sounds really really good, especially with the metal theming. Because both your Toreador are pretty punkish.
Yeah.
It also fits with the two cannibals in the corner.
Yeah, the two
And then
cannibals
here's
in the
Rodney.
corner. And then
Here's
Rodney.
Rodney just lurking in the corner, just like, yep.
It seems a little on the nose. I think that's not something that that your benevolent prince would actually make as a target on your back.
No,
Yeah.
the dead crew would be most likely.
Yeah, Dinku would be more likely because the name was given by Prince Calhoun, and he is a venturer of high standing who has standards and
Taste.
morals, kind of, and taste.
Morals, kind of. Also
Sorry,
loves to run
ethics.
people over with cars.
Ethics, kind of. Well,
The cannibal
I mean,
cores
you know,
we could do.
a venturer takes care of his prize tools.
He has
He
a
does.
code. He has a code.
He has a code by which he lives, as many
Well-
Ventru do.
I don't know if it's morals or ethics, but there's definitely a code.
I think the word you're looking for is principles.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, principles.
He stands by his principles.
We could use that as how we are known and privately call ourselves the Cannibal Cores. It's just not going to get used much.
I like the Dig Crew.
Dig Crew
That's
is nice.
fine.
It's very thematic. It's very appropriate. It's
It's something that can be said in casual conversation and not
With-
raise too many questions.
exactly.
Mhm.
What I like.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Dig Crew works, and I think that your lovely prince would approve of that. So, on to maybe a little bit of information as to what your relationships are with your sires. So, let's start with Dana. Kind of a brief overview how you feel about Austin.
Not over. All right. Between you, me, and the water cooler, Dana hates him. Absolutely hates him. Mostly because it's his play that got her stuck in the Camarilla, and makes it very clear that the Anarchs will never end up taking her back. In fact, want her dead. The fact of the matter is that his play and her not fully understanding the full depth of his teachings, well, her rebellious spirit ended up costing her something very dear to her, and in doing so has, to make sure that she doesn't run away, they kind of sealed the exits by cutting off her ability to interact with Anarchs in a favorable light. As such, she's kind of painted into the corner with the Camarilla. Because of that, it's a begrudging thing where it is. She's smart enough to not play on that in front of other individuals of court. In private, she's doing her best to keep somewhat cordial, which I think might fail one or two times. It's harsh in the red. She still is childer. She still has to walk with him in Elysium. All the childer things, but she hates him. Absolutely hates him.
Mm-hmm. So who is this person that you lost?
Belle. Belle was a Bruja in amongst the Anarchs, and one of the ones who had took me in. In fact, right now I'm still wearing her jacket and gloves. Anarchs call them trophies. I think of them as forget-me-nots. fact of the matter is that I do it not to forget. See, she earlier tried to help me come to terms with what I was being brought into. I loved her dearly. I was smitten with her the first time I met her. And then things went sideways, and the sheriff ended up killing her. And I should be right along with her, but no. I get to live through it. And I get to be the one who gets all the blame. The Camarilla infiltrator. So now, my brothers and sisters in arms are the ones who want to kill me. Because of what I did. I'm not going to say I didn't do it. Young and stupid. Capes are all about routine, after all. And fact of the matter is that when I thought I could take advantage of that, everything kind of just went south. Now, I'm in the Camarilla, and just to add insult to injury, my deeds were heralded as a great victory of the Camarilla, and look at our little would-be fledgling. Clearly they are a recognized neonate, and they did it loud and proud. Made sure the entire city knew. I got played. I got played hard. And so now, everybody who's in the know, who know what really happened, is wary of me. Everybody who doesn't know is wanting to recognize me as a full-blown neonate in good standing in the city of Jackson. And I gotta play the role. I gotta play up to this corrupt bullshit. I gotta end up here swallowing my pride every 2 seconds, and I gotta get through this turn, because I gotta live to fight another day, and I gotta find a way out of this situation. And I can already tell that this coterie is built to kill me. They're meant to keep an eye on me. Make sure I don't step out of line. Play the role I was meant to play. By my sire's design. So now I'm trapped under my sire's thumb. I'm trapped under her Calhoun. And every night I'm just wondering when it is that the Anarchs decide that they're gonna come for me. So I'm reliant on Camarilla protection, which is flaky at best, given the fact that I'm not exactly a prize neonate amongst the higher-ups. And everybody below them is just either playing along or just doesn't know. So I gotta hope. I gotta hope that... I don't know anymore. To be honest.
Liv, tell us a little bit about your sire.
What can I say about Caitlin? You know, she's a wonderful dear. Truly. But there's a slight little bit of issue that she has with my particular demeanor. Although she says that I'm not quote unquote refined enough.
She did embrace you for a reason way back in the day. But
she did. She doesn't deny me my purpose. She doesn't deny me what I'm good at. She gives me credit where credit is due, and I'm not going to go ahead and say that I hate the lady, but sometimes there are little bits and pieces that happen that we kind of get on each other's nerves a little bit. But in a way that's, I suppose, kind of endearing. In either case, I wouldn't die for the woman. But if she needed me, I'd be there.
So it's a pretty good green relationship then?
I'd say green.
Rodney.
Yes.
Your relationship with Yanto.
Ianto. I met Ianto on the street. He
Oh no. Well, that's my internet shitting the bed. Hello.
Hello.
That
Oh,
was
there
was
we
my
go.
internet shitting the bed.
Oh no.
we good? We good?
I don't know that I'm streaming it still.
You're moving at the very least on the Discord. No,
Yeah,
you're
no,
not.
it knocked the stream out.
Okay.
Oof.
So, check that.
Restart the stream.
Actually, yes, that's going on. I need to go to the bathroom. What's with me
Oh.
having to get up and down?
That's also OBS probably crashing. Here we go. Restart the stream.
Yeah.
Still recording, so it's all one VOD. It's fine.
Okay.
Welcome
Okay.
back. Hi. That was my internet shitting the bed, everyone. Welcome back. Yes, so this will be
There we
uploaded
go.
as
Now he's back.
this will be uploaded as one VOD on YouTube. However, yeah, Twitch and OBS and my internet just are not agreeing with each other today.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo! We're having fun.
Yay.
Yes.
It's a good night.
I need more caffeine for this.
Wake up.
Get drunk with me. Get drunk with me.
No,
Get
because that's
drunk
gonna
with-
make it pass out.
Oh, good point. Get caffeine.
Caffeination.
Are we all good now?
Yes, I think we're all good to continue. Rodney, could tell us a little bit about you and your sire, how you met, all that jazz.
Ianto and I met when I was on the street. I was living on the street. And he was a good friend. And he is still a good friend. With the bonus of being my sire. Even though I think I scared the living shit out of him with all of this. Yes.
Yeah, I think he was pretty taken aback by learning the fact that you are indeed a hoarder.
Oh. Is that what we were referring to?
Well, there's that too.
Yeah. He seems rather okay with my hoarding. It's the cats that confuses him. I have to keep telling him, they're not food, Ianto. They're friends. Cats are friends, not food. And he doesn't understand. He's very green. All the green.
All the green. Rodney, is a big fan of Yanto.
Yes.
And he's a fan of you. He likes you. Enough. You're his childer, after all. Now we move on to Mercy and Malice. Your relationship with the Hakata is complicated.
Melis, I think you should start on this one.
That's putting it mildly. Now, as for Fire, Malice has absolutely no care, compassion, or concerns. Magdalene is involved. Except to say that where it involves Mercy, there is definitely concern.
Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. She did.
But much in Kami tradition, they were groomed for their embrace by their Hakata sire. She is dead. Because of this, it causes complications with his Mala. Katarina Argento. I would say that relationship is yellow.
With Katarina.
Malice doesn't completely trust Katarina. Katarina does not trust Malice. But she has, for Malice's sake, stepped up in a similar role to Mercy. So that gives some leeway to Katarina from Malice's point of view.
She understands your skills. But she also realizes that you're the child of Magdalene. So.
Which is going to make some things more difficult, no matter how skilled he is. He does a lot of research on his own. Because Katarina doesn't trust him enough to teach him because of Magdalene. And as far as where the sire is concerned, only in the fact that it was Mercy. So Alice will still keep a wary eye on Mercy. I'm sure she is still Mercy.
And Mercy, your relationship to these two?
I hardly know Katerina. And frankly, the woman has made it clear that she sees no promise. I ain't got their lofty, spooky hoodoo bullshit powers that the rest of them all seem to have. What's it? Necromancy? That shit. Nah, I don't think I could even learn to do that. Any of that, even if I did have them powers. I don't think I could make myself. Not after seeing what Magdalene done did with it. Yeah, I was groomed. You could say that. You could say it in a sense. My pa, he meant a lot to me. For a long time, I thought he was sick. I took care of him while he was sick. He was a strong and proud man, the county sheriff. Tom McLemay. And I was proud of him. No matter how vicious and strict of a man he could be, it meant something. And then he got sick. And I thought that sickness was something mundane, but terrible. Tumors started happening, and his skin started falling away, and soon I was taking care of nothing more than a husk of a human being. Speechless and thoughtless, carrying around his own IVs. He could barely function, yet he still walked. Yet he fought the nurses, and he moved. And I begged and I pleaded. And the worst part of me hoped he would die. When he finally did, it's at the funeral that I met Magdalene. Sometime after did I learn what she did. What she did to my daddy. Turned him into some undead thing. Not like me. No. Something far worse. Something that don't got no soul in it. So when the prince opened up his gates to me and said, Maeve McLemay, you gotta kill your sire. I said, let hell and rain meet. I will be your gun. You just point me. And sure as shit, I fired. And I turned that woman into dust. And I ain't ever really looked back since. So, frankly saying, damn what the heck ought to think about me. Damn if I ain't got them special skills, and damn Magdalene far in the deepest pits of hell where she resides. I done right.
Fantastic.
Magdalene, yep. Magdalene is black. Canerita, she can be yellow. She just wrote me off is all.
Well, I think that about does it for relationship building. So, let's actually build the coterie statistics. So, everything starts at zeros until you spend a dot somewhere otherwise.
Yes, and this is where I come in.
Yes.
Portalon starts at 2 because of my law sheet.
Okay.
Liv, when Rodney carved out the sanctuary, Liv would have given him some assistance in routing and navigation through the domain, such as to provide extra layers of security on top of what was being installed.
Which gives you a little peeking eye into the neighbors. at some of those exits. So, fantastic. And so, in that case, generally, about how long do you think that you, as a coterie, have known each other? A couple of years? A couple of months? Has Rodney had this all along and you were just adding on to it? What are we talking about?
I imagine Mercy was brought into everything. Am I transmitting?
You cut out a. I heard the last thing you said was,
Okay.
Mercy was brought in, and then you cut out that.
Okay, so I imagine Mercy was brought after, shortly after all of her experience with Magdalene. After that, the prince had to more or less put her under thumb somewhere. Like, you were your sire's child. We're just gonna slip you in somewhere nice and somewhere convenient where if I need to get rid of you in time. And I keep, like, de-transmitting and it's driving me nuts.
It's probably, yeah, it's probably that your mic sensitivity needs to be lowered just a titch on Discord, but yeah.
I imagine this haven is something that Rodney's had for a while and he's just been slowly building on it, which is why it's so much that he's giving to the coterie.
Yeah.
It
has little exit tunnels that kind of span the portion of land that you now reside in, possibly partly because Rodney is already stationed there. And so,
in fact, my law sheet is probably how I even first came across Rodney in the first place. I found one of the entrances and entered and found him, and probably asked him if he was Sabat.
He was probably very pissed with you finding his little hole too.
And I imagine there would have been a share of information, like, you know, here's some other hidey holes, here there's some armory, like there's armories scattered around here, and here.
And the relationship started off kind of rocky, I'm sure. And has slowly been warming up to each other. Okay, I can see that. So,
maybe
as far
she
as
defended the haven from a Sabat attack.
Possibly.
And another Sabat came down there, and
how old is Rodney?
Didn't realize it.
Rodney is about 50 years old total.
Embraced?
Let me just have a look at his details. I have his date of death in around 2015.
Oh. 2015 is when we're starting.
Oh, so that's wrong.
I was going to say that no one was older than really 10 to 15 years.
Liv is 16.
Liv is 16. She's on that edge.
Yeah.
But no older than 15.
She died in 99. She died before the turn of the millennium.
I'm not really sure how long he's been dead then.
Since 2001.
Yeah, 2000, 2001.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
So I'll set it for like 2001.
So maybe because the major portion of the Sabat attacks had been concluded by about that time. It was like random stragglers that maybe were trying to find hidey holes.
Yeah.
And they found one of Rodney's, and Liv excised them.
Yeah. Rodney was caring for his cats, and they went to attack the cats, and the next thing that Rodney knows, bang, 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 there's this Sabat shovel head with 3 holes in his chest on the ground, bleeding.
Yeah.
Probably screaming about how they're in pain before Liv, goes and crushes the windpipe and attempts to sever the head from the shoulders.
Fair. Yeah, Rodney's definitely on the older side of when he was human. He was on the older side, and he's not Yeah, so he hasn't been around for very long, though, I don't imagine.
As far as embraced. Okay.
Yeah.
So about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the next kind of expenditure towards the coterie is the free coterie dots, which is one for each of you. So where would you like to spend those?
I ain't playing this game second time. We're putting that bitch right into Chase.
So we're doing
Somebody
one,
doesn't learn their lesson.
Yeah.
one in chase from Mercy. Okay.
And if I gotta, I am willing to sacrifice dots from my contact in order to also put those in Chase.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that when everybody has spent their free dot from coterie creation. So, where's Liv putting hers?
Lane.
Lane. Okay.
She can't leave either of them empty.
Okay.
Like, they're both quite important, so.
Okay. Where's Rodney putting his?
I think I might boost putting in.
We want to be Portal on 3.
Sure.
Portland. Okay.
We have a small but hyper secure domain.
Yeah, because, Rodney is an information gatherer. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's what he do. He digs very, very good, secure hidey holes. It's what people call him for sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And Ianto knows this.
Just a question
Yes.
where we're at so far, because I've missed something with everything cutting out. Where are we at with Chase, Lean, and Portalon?
Portal on 3, Chase 1, Lane 1.
Okay.
That's where we're at so far.
Thank you.
And
So
we have your dot and Dana's yet to spend for that.
Yeah. So Malice and Dana, where are you spending yours?
Chase.
Chase. For Malice, okay. So that's Chase 2. And
I'm gonna go lane 2.
Lane 2, okay.
Chase 2, Lane 2, Portal on 3. That's actually a that's a nice.
And that's
like,
even
it's
before building a haven. It's small, but it's a decent neighborhood as far as, population you can feed from, but it is incredibly secure based on the tunnels that Rodney has dug and secured, that Liv has little nooks and crannies that she can spot things from.
She's aware of everything.
She's pretty aware of everything. She does her rounds. She checks her hidey holes. She checks her people. That's what she does.
And
All right.
sometimes we evolve a gun.
Sometimes we evolve a gun. But it is pretty secure right out of the gate. So, next is individual expenditures into the coterie. So, let's start with Malice. What is he individually adding to the coterie, if anything?
I don't really.
And this would be like sacrificing dots or sacrificing experience from what you've spent.
I don't really see where I could potentially add my Haven advantage to this, but I don't know. That would take away the Haven that he has already.
It would. So, you would be sacrificing it for your individual use and giving it to the coterie use. Which, should Malice have a falling out with the coterie, he'd be up Shit's Creek.
And that's not going to happen, because that's reserved. The only other thing I could potentially add might be some resources.
It's if you
Unless
want
that's
to if you want to sacrifice the dots, that's up to you.
I don't think so. I don't really see where I have anything to
To spare
sacrifice
for
for.
now. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, that'll have to come from expenditures later because I just don't see where I could. 'Cause some of this stuff came from a lore sheet, and I can't sacrifice that.
Right.
That's the lore sheet.
Yep. That's for your individual use. Okay. Then we'll move on to Mercy. Do you have anything that you're individually sacrificing to the coterie?
I do. And it's coming straight out of Mr. Bellini. He was a man of resources and moving people.
So he's a 1-dot contact?
No, he was a 3-dot contact, but I'll make him a 1-dot contact in exchange for having two additional dots in chase.
Okay.
I do not want to fuck with this.
Okay. Chase it is.
4 dots chase. There you go. You're welcome.
Nope, that's actually 5 chase now.
That's hot.
Oh,
You're welcome.
You're bordering on the rack.
oh.
You're welcome. This is what Mr. Bellini did for us.
Prime real estate.
So, about that old hotel idea. To the Haven.
Maybe.
Coffee.
Maybe.
I'll hit you up with what Bellini can do for me as a contact later.
Mm-hmm. I know he's a criminal and he's tied in with the Hakata somewhere, so
Yeah.
that's fine. That's all I need to know. So, what else, lovelies? What are you spending towards the coterie, Rodney?
Oh, I'm throwing my whole Haven at it.
Okay, and
Which
which is
five
the details that you messaged me
So,
about. Yes.
Updated details.
Okay.
Boom, because I added that 3 experience that I had left over into it as well.
Okay. Okay.
So I just yeeted that at you in the Discord.
Okay. So this is the updated stats. So that does bring up the additional thing. If you take flaws as a coterie, for each dot you get to spend in addition to that. So that's you're spending 4 of your dots to give to the coterie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4 dots plus 3 XP, I believe.
Yeah,
4
4 dots plus 3 XP.
Okay. And it already came with the flaw, or that was in addition to?
That was included in that, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, because Haven flaws are handled as
Same as coterie flaws?
as the same as they're handled in their own little kind of microcosm, like the way that you take Haven advantages and flaws. They're handled all the Haven advantages and flaws. They're all handled as their own block of stuff.
Okay.
So currently,
So it's one of those you take a
dots
flaw
base.
to get an advantage kind of a thing.
Yeah, if you don't want to invest the dots in it, you can take an advantage and then take a flaw on it.
Okay.
So the 3-dot base plus the 2-dot post turn, because that isn't including the Zelios stuff. 3-dot base, 2-dot post turn, 1-dot library, 1-dot security is 7, minus 2 for the haunted and creepy flaws is 5.
Okay.
And then the one dot each into post turn and security from Sanctuary will make that 3-dot post turn, 2-dot security system.
Okay.
So we're getting an equivalent of a 9-dot Haven total for 5 dots.
Right? That's my brain's been trying to figure out exactly how it works as well.
Fucking bunker rats.
It is, yes. Well, look.
This is what Rocky gives to the coterie.
Look, So here's the thing, right? Rodney needs a place to store all his shit.
He's got a lot of shit.
We need a place to store the guns. Because there's going to be a lot of guns. Like, a lot of guns. And, I mean, it's also of a size that eventually, if Mercy and Malice wanted to add, like, a surgery,
library,
labs.
library,
well, extra
Got
into
a
the
library.
Extra into the library, like investing more.
Malice does have the intention of building a surgery and expanding on the library. I just don't have the dots.
We don't have an existing. Oh, we have a $1 library. Never mind. There is an existing
a
library.
library.
Okay.
That came from what?
From
Mox just.
Yeah, but Mox just jumped. Yeah.
So, Malice does intend on building a surgery and expanding on the library. I just don't have.
No, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. We're not worrying about that right now. We're just worrying about what the base is. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Dana.
Just to be clear. So all of that is now coterie.
Yes.
Do I understand that correctly? Okay, so let me just add that.
Yes, all of that is the big old thing. The big old thing that Rodney donated to the coterie.
Haven size is 3.
Size 3.
Yep.
1 haunted.
Size 3.
1 creepy. 3 postern. Total. 2 security and 1 library.
Yep, because Descendants of Zelios. It means it's like if you don't know how to traverse it, it's winding. It's a labyrinth. You're gonna get lost. There's gonna be traps. You're gonna die.
I mean, they learn from the best. Sheriff Galvin, who learned from the best.
Best.
He's the grandchild of Zelios.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yep.
Descendants of Zelios, man.
Fucking welcome.
Yeah, no, Descendants of Zelios. Descendants of Zelios is a scary lore sheet for this reason.
Yeah.
The things that you could do with it are absolutely terrifying if you are willing to put in the dots as a support, because basically it means, yeah, hey, you see all of this? You see every last little bit of this? This is a death trap if you don't know what you're doing.
I feel like
this domain is a death trap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would explain why it is that.
Explains why it is that you're.
Yeah, it's why Dana's hiding there.
It's why Dana's hiding there. It's why Anarchs. You're basically building the wall that Anarchs don't cross.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm about to make it worse because I believe I still have my donations.
You do.
It's like, this
what are you
is the line
donating?
in the sand.
Now, normally around now, I'll be looking at Chase and going, okay, I need to up it. But somebody already beat me to it. And if that's the case, and given on how Dan is going to go, I'm going to make this... You want to what? We always do domain building. How about this time, we don't have to worry about that. That is not the problem. We're free on that notion. So I'm going to give up my herd.
Okay.
Because my 2-dot herd I'm going to give up because they're already all over the place. I mean, feeding, I don't need to select. I can literally go into the street and not a problem.
Yeah.
Especially with 5 dots. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slap both of them in lane. My regulars are now my eyes and ears throughout the entire domain.
Oh.
And as such, because this place is such a bunker and has become so notorious, and we are its handlers, if you step up, if you decide to end up coming in, well, for all intents and purposes, while we may be neonates, you are treating us as royalty because everybody gets a 4-dot for information gathering in the domain, as well as any social roles for first encounters.
Ooh, 5-dot chase, 4-dot lane, 3 dots portalon.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna correct that. I'm gonna make that 3 dots lane and 4 dots portalon.
Okay.
Because it is a bunker.
Because we're bunkered. We're bunker rats. We're the dig
We are
team.
bunker rats.
Or the
We
dig
are
team.
bunker rats.
You fucked around in the wrong neighborhood.
Fucked around in the wrong
The
neighborhood.
crew is a
Exactly.
bunch of bunker rats. Okay.
Mr.
You are the
Mr.
wall.
Rogers is about to send you
At this
to
point-
imaginary land.
At this point, I'm literally thinking like, what is it called? We refer to it as the bunker.
The domain is
Bunker.
called the Burrows. The
Burrows.
haven is called the bunker.
Yeah?
I love it.
It's
Main
Enter and
is
die.
burrows.
The
and
main
it's
is
kind
called
of
the
a honeypot
Burrows.
too. It's kind of a honeypot too, because we're chase 5.
Because you're chase 5. And the anarchs across the way from you are chase 1-0.
So we're going to
Oh,
be
no.
killing anarchs regularly, I'm assuming.
Depends on how this
well,
goes.
it depends on how it goes, but so
It's
We're going to
just
be
an
murdering anyone
assumption.
bold
They're
enough to
just-
think that they can step on our land.
I'm already terrified. I'm gonna Scourge accidentally quick as fuck.
It's kind of what I was
Oh.
embraced for.
Domain is the burrows, and our haven is the bunker.
Yep.
Okay,
your haven is called the bunker.
got it.
So, a while back, I mentioned that I reckon the Haven should probably be like an old hotel.
Mm.
Might be a really good fit considering, our chase. Because it is so
A recently
close
refurbished
to...
hotel. Yeah. With,
Yeah.
with the haven underneath.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. What's the name of the hotel on top?
Who's good at naming things? Derek.
You're really good at naming things.
Oh.
Oh, you were muted.
hmm.
I have no idea.
I don't know. We're talking about hotels in Jackson, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally looking
Bluff?
up.
What was that, Mojo?
Bluff Hotel.
Bluff.
Yeah?
Walk me through that one.
Well, the bluff is you think you're actually dealing with humans. It's an old historic. Well, it might actually be closer to something like Marshall House. The bluff is, I believe, in Savannah. And
We
Marshall
don't
is
even have.
actually-
It doesn't have to be a real location.
I know.
I'm
I'm just
just
trying.
taking names from real hotels in the area too.
Yeah. This one's
Okay.
actually quite difficult.
Hmm.
I wonder if the
yeah,
chat
that's
has
actually-
any
that's
ideas.
actually- Yeah, Black Wolf said the Knowlton.
Like the Hilton,
The
but
li-
less hot.
Hot. I will be right back.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a swanky hotel. It could be something a little bit divey. But
That's
the
why
point
I went with the bluff.
the point is
It-
it brings in people. As little tourism as happens in Jackson.
Ruby Drop Hotel. Ruby Drop Hotel.
Ruby drop?
I don't know. Just a thought.
I think we got some. But if you're trying to hide it, right? Like just as far as
Hiding its
There's a whole-
intent. Yeah.
hiding its
I-
intent.
I was going with the bluff. Is it might look like it's a bit run down on the outside, but the interior would actually be more modern, up to date kind of. Furniture's not dilapidated. It's all covered in cobwebs. And again, you think you're dealing with humans when it's either ghouls or kindred. That was my thinking on it.
I'd always go with something really, really, really familiar to everybody. The Grand. Isn't there like grand hotels like everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Like everywhere always seems to have a grand hotel.
The Grand.
The Grand Hotel might be something
Wrong.
something a little along the lines of someone in court might have. Not the neonates at the border of Anarch territory.
I'm thinking. Well, when I say the grand, like a lot of places that have like a grand hotel are always like that hotel always seems to be like a little seedy and a little bit on the less so grand scale.
That sounds more like a Motel 6.
River's Edge Motel.
Shots fired. Shots fired at Motel 6.
I'm using a random name generator here too, by the way.
River's Edge, because there's a big ass river that goes around.
Well, there's
River's
the
Bend.
yeah, the River Bend, or the River's Edge.
Yeah.
The Bends.
The Bends.
Columbia Resort.
It's another
Problem
one.
is-
You see everywhere. The Crown Hotel.
Wait, I got something along the lines. The Digs.
They are good digs.
They are! Come
Onto
to
the
our-
shit, but you know, we don't.
Hey,
go-
hey, maybe that's part of our clientele that come to the hotel or the ghost chasers. Gonna spend a night or two and see what they
Oh my
can
God.
find, and
I mean,
then
it is
never be
haunted
found again.
Hunters.
It is haunted and creepy.
It'll be just like fucking Bloodlines and
Like I said, they're
bring the Ghost Hunter back. We need to eat him.
like I
Okay,
said.
I got it. I got it.
Mm,
It's the Dolphin Hotel.
the dolphin.
Often. Yes.
Explain this one to me.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It's a movie reference. This is a hotel that's haunted as shit. The name of the hotel is the same name of the hotel as the movie 1408.
Ooh.
The dolphin.
Like the ocean critter.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't go into room 1408.
That's where Melis does his shit.
You know,
And we
there's
don't
another benefit to it being a hotel. Because Rodney is a Sandman feeder.
It's true. He can go sneak into hotel rooms. He's got key cards. He can go get the
Did
key
I-
cards.
Did I miss where we were telling everybody our ages and stuff?
Rodney is somewhere around 14. Liv is 16. Malice is how old? Sorry, how old is Malice? Did I lose Mojo?
Malice is 14.
14.
He's a
Okay.
vampire.
And how old is
He
Data?
was, he was in
15.
Okay. And then the baby of the group is Mercy.
yes,
Addie.
ever younger.
She's had some life experience as a kindred, so.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, she has.
Yes, she has. Which is all things that we could possibly explore during the actual game.
Yes.
But Mercy is somewhere around 5, embraced.
Looks like we're saying that.
Okay. That's up to you. I'm asking.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Long enough to have a little bit of experience under her belt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We didn't get. Did we get? Oh, we did Liv's, and we were doing Dana's. Did we do? Is there anybody that I forget? I don't know where I'm at now. As far as who's dumping shit into the coterie.
I think we were up to Dana. I think Dana was the last one.
Mm-hmm. Which she sacrificed her to put it into Portalon and Lane.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Then I think that does it for coterie creation stuff. And I have the notes saved now, and you all can see that, so that we'll keep that up to date as you guys continue to buy things, if you do, for the coterie and domain. But you live in a domain called the Burrows. The Dolphin Hotel stands atop the bunker, one of many entrances into the bunker. And it is secure and well fed as fuck. The harpy may actually be looking at you and be like, "You're competing with the rack? What?"
Well, we're not competing with the rack.
Well,
The
as far
rack.
as how well stocked it is, anyway.
Well,
Well, she's probably noticing though.
blame Mercy for that one.
What can I say? I called in a favor.
Yep. A hell of a favor.
Yeah.
Kyla Harvey might actually be like, "What is all this then?"
Taking notes.
Taking notes.
Well, what's all this then?
But yeah, I think that does it for the coterie creation segment of the story. If you guys are still good for going, we want then we can do some character introductions following a break. You guys good for that?
Sure.
I think the only thing we need to do as far as that goes is coterie stated goal.
Oh yeah,
Purpose.
Yeah.
goal and purpose. Yep.
Survive.
But what
Yeah.
of us? What is our assigned role here?
Well, I think it's
Guardians?
twofold. You are definitely meant to act as a barrier, to investigate and deal with maybe not extremely deal with, but definitely inform on any activity that is of a negative nature to the Camarilla.
God, most Nosferatu are gonna have a hard time getting in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Nosferatu
actually-
walk into your place and they you know about it.
We know before they do. There's a unique
Coffee.
situation.
Moxie.
Coffee. I
Moxie.
thought, because of their situation, and they are the ones who are supposed to be informing on people, wouldn't it make more sense for their area to kind of be a little bit more increased? Because they're like right next to the rack.
Not next to the rack. It's the rack is kind of downtown.
They're in a proportionately significant area. It would kind of make sense for them to have a honeypot to use as an information gathering.
I mean, that's the whole point of
I
like
think
Portal
I
on Lane
actually
and
have it.
Chase.
I have the reason why this is happening.
Anarchs have been getting uppity.
The reason we have such a large chase is we've been attracting everybody from the Anarch turf, bringing them here. So what we've been doing effectively is starving them out.
I think that's what's been happening. That's why they're uppity.
That's the reason why the chase is there.
And that's why they're uppity. They're upset because they feel like their food source is getting stolen. It's not a very well stocked neighborhood to begin with, and this has been happening a couple of years now. As far as I can tell, you guys have been a coterie, probably for at least a year or more, and so you're acquainted with each other for sure. You know each other for sure.
Do have some question.
Yes.
I've not gone over.
Okay.
What is the boon? Type of boon does Malice owe Spencer Quinn? And
I thought it was Mercy who had that.
It was.
oh, you have that now?
I was the one who had it
Okay.
in the first place because Spencer
Okay.
was basically the one who vouched for me. You were.
Got
Malice
it.
was already vouched for by the Hakata.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that came up in conjunction and that we both owed for that. That's why I asked.
You just know Spencer as being an investigator, as being a hound.
Malice and Mercy, the way that I understand the story to go, reported that Magdalene was colluding and aiding anarchs.
Yeah.
And whatever fashion that might be. And so Mercy took on a boon for the hound to deal with her personally.
I sacrificed myself for you.
This is what I understand about the story.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
at some point, Spencer is going to ask Mercy to do something for him.
Yeah.
Derek, how dare you?
What? What is he doing? I'm not looking at him right now.
He just posted something in the chat.
What did you post in the chat?
Sorry, I tried to give a straight face. The second you started breaking.
You guys are loopy. It's great.
Oh, it only gets better.
Mm-hmm.
It only gets better with this coterie.
I mean, there's the 4 of you, plus Liv.
Mm-hmm.
Liv
helped.
Liv helped. Liv helped.
Welcome
So,
to the club.
Yes. Well, yeah, I think the purpose is kind of clear, that this domain had been developed to serve as a preliminary wall. First responders and or deal with things.
We built the wall and made the anarchs pay for it.
Yeah. You built a wall. The Shit, son.
I was waiting for someone to make the joke.
Well, I think that is a very good point to take a quick break, and we will be back potentially with maybe some in-character stuff if you guys want to do some session 0 in-character stuff.
I'm down.
So, we will be right back, everyone, with session 0 of War in the Soul City. So don't go anywhere. Welcome, everyone, to Session 0 of War in the Soul City. We're doing a quick character introduction in which the 5 members of this coterie have come together, or possibly woken up together, about to set off on some errands for the day, but perhaps some mingling is needed, as Mercy, the youngest embraced of this coterie, has only been introduced to all of them recently. She hasn't yet gotten a chance to get to know those that she is associated with by proxy of malice. And thus, we begin in media res. The conversation has gone over some of the mundane details of the day, and perhaps some more interesting conversation is to ensue. The night is still young.
Dana is, at this exact moment, probably spending a bit of time in what I imagine is akin to the Common. It's one of the hotel rooms that has recently been renovated, specifically for the purpose of the coterie, specifically being soundproof, as the rest of the guests will not be able to end up hearing such things, down a hallway with a few empty rooms that are not to be booked. Specifically to maintain Masquerade and perhaps deal with some of the less civil actions the coterie must undertake. She's currently going through a ledger. It's the numbers, specifically for the armory, the club that she runs, heavy metal club, and a dying art, something that doesn't quite pull in the money like it did back in the day, and now, well, it's nice to get lost in the ledgers, but on occasion she finds herself with her eyes drifting, admiring the room. To this day, she still doesn't quite understand it. Places that used to be of comfort to her, now seen as though being trapped inside one's own coffin. As though being buried beneath the carcasses of angels themselves stripped down from heaven. And now, well, she finds herself elated in the places where in life she would have been quite uncomfortable. Perhaps she has mistaken for heaven for hell, or perhaps there's no discernible difference anymore in her current condition. But as she ends up doing so, she knows the others will arrive soon. Taking a few moments to get to know the Hekata, the clan of death. Oh, like little reapers, they end up flowing out, and now they end up flowing here amongst the dolphins, swimming with us. Specifically as we drown in our own dichotomies, each separate and distinct. And yet, there is a moment of anticipation. Their reputation is carried by swift wind and swifter tongue. She wonders what is that's going to end up bringing them into this fold. Assignment by a princely power, one who sits on the rotted throne of bone and, well, let's not wax poetic too much for one night, shall we?
Mercy, starts her evening. A bit later than usual. Feels like as the nights go on, it gets late every single time. Can't help but be hopeful for the winter. 'Cause at least then, I can expect that I'll have a longer, well, time to be moving around. For the old rigor mortis. I find myself getting ready for the night as best I can. Make sure my tie looks good. Putting it on my daddy old. You can't trust a man who don't know how to put on his tie. Just the same, I don't think I could trust no one who couldn't either. He also said not to trust men who knew how to. Find an even balance. Balance is seemingly what it's about here. For myself. And whatever kind of existence it be. Go ahead and make my way down. Glam and glitter and gustling is a bit much for me. I feel like I can't quite see too well. I feel pretty out of place, really. But not too terribly out of place. I was invited here. And I find that I can always chat, get to know the individuals that I will be companioned by. And there she sits. Little Miss Ruffian, or at least seemingly so. Dana Rain. I approach her. Calm and simple. Miss Rain, how fare your evening?
Curious state. I'm left to wonder and be bewildered by the very presence. And I am to be overjoyed by this grim thing that walks inside. She turns to Mercy. I'm led to believe that death rides in pairs.
Well, where there's one, the other soon to follow. You can count on that.
Mm-hmm. A shadow within shadow. Musing. I appreciate your candor in the matter. Thank you for coming. She stands a quizzitive look as though unsure how to address you.
You can just call me Mercy, honey. I don't mind none.
Honey would imply it is sweet, but we both know that it's gone far past vinegar at this point. Still, Mercy it is. Pray that it is a truly apt name. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Please, take a seat and rest yourself.
Well, thank you. And Mercy goes ahead and sits down. She peers at the ledgers, just very quickly glancing at them before looking away. Got yourself some busy work there.
Quite. The tediums of life seem to have extended into the after. Wonder how long we would ride this river together then. She closes the ledger. Still, it's unusual to end up knowing your kind in this city, especially assigned a troop of 5.
Well, I personally don't know too much about it myself. All I know, for the most part, is Malice, what he be up to. And how about you? You've mentioned you and her being sisters quite a bit. What's all that about? You really sisters? Or just of the same sire?
She is my lovely bit of sororicide. Much like the tie around you, and it keeps you steady, as she is to me. A lovely little message. And, after all, what's a little fun without some rope burn?
It's a funny way to put it.
I often find myself trying to put together his sentences and wax a bit poetic. It entertains the appropriate portions and plays very much into what is expected to me in the Court of Vipers.
Well,
And so I find it good practice to maintain.
It's rather a particular talent you got there. I will be honest, quite a few words are going right over my head. $2 words and all that never pulled well with me myself. But I try and keep up best I can. Miss Rain.
And I'm sure you will. And may you receive all the admiration and love that would be bestowed upon from a father's head unto his child's back.
Now you're just making fun of me.
Thought you were smart. Now, with that being said, what exactly did you have in mind tonight? There's a whole bunch of business that needs to be sorted in caskets, boxes, or envelope. The decision, well, we'll still have to find out.
Well, I find myself more useful to others when, at this point, not quite sure where I can go in terms. I haven't figured it out, but as far
Lost
as-
lamb.
Quite. I was interested, however, getting to know a bit more about you, Miss. I feel like initially there is some sort of animosity. I just want to make it clear I'm not out to bite your head off or nothing.
the removal of my head. Well, is often accompanied by sweetest of words. And I do appreciate those words, do not get it confused. But much like the fall of the Tower of Babel, we are still coming to the crossroads of where we can once again speak to each other, and more importantly, understand each other. I will, however, say this much. What you wish to know of me depends entirely on who you want to know.
Who?
This life, the past life, the life before court, the life before the bite, and the backbiters.
It sounds like you got yourself quite a history there.
A history that is still being written to this day. And she picks up the ledger. Be it in numbers, in paint, or art. One way or another we make our mark. And leave it scarred as a forget-me-not.
You really are good at that poetry stuff. Look at you.
Few years practice, but I appreciate the compliment.
Well,
Now you... Oh, please go.
I was gonna say. You got so many different varieties and flavors. Suppose I wanna be getting to know the one that sounds most real. However that seems to ring for you.
The one that sounds the most what?
Most true for you. I guess the most flavorful.
A bird in a cage whose partner is a stone tossed into the riverside and left to end up flapping its wings a few final time as it flies as fish do.
Nah, I have to be thinking about that.
It means that my situation mostly is changed to this domain, this by the court's own decrees, such as you and I are both tied together, my wonderful stone.
Ah, gotcha. You'd much rather be out there doing your own, whatever that ledger was about, wouldn't you?
What I prefer died a long time ago.
With you?
Oh, go on.
Is it it's this moment the ginger cat comes running down the hall, followed by the footsteps of a rather large man going, "Charles, get back here!"
I see that the beast has been caged and is now here making its exit amongst the halls.
Oh, got ourselves a little critter on the loose.
Charles, I'm going to feed you to Ianto next time he is here. Give me that trinket back.
Observe as you end up seeing one beast chase its own tail with a mind of its own.
Come on now, get it. No, ain't nobody can control cats. I I don't even think a Venture could manage that.
There's the sound of another set of footsteps coming to one of the doors, and the opening of said door. What did he steal this time?
Cat's running away with a piece of paper in its mouth.
Quick, before he causes a breach!
Rodney's just chasing after this thing. It looks very out of place because Rodney's this tall, lanky creature with this massive hunch.
Potbelly
These long
swaying from left and
arms.
right with every sway, right?
Pretty much. These long, lanky arms reaching out with these clawed hands on the end, trying his damnedest to catch this damn cat.
And as it so happens, as soon as Charles runs by the door, whereupon you would find a rather tall, bright blue-haired woman standing, she's going to, with a preternatural reflex, reach out and grab the cat.
Easy enough.
Rodney
This isn't the first time.
Rodney comes to a skidding halt and almost runs into Liv.
Look, I could jump, but not that high. And she holds him up, but no roughness, just holds him up. There.
Thank you.
Giles, you know better.
Give me that. He snatches the paper out of the cat's mouth.
It'll be about this time that Malice makes his way to the door into the hall. It's all the ruckus. Malice is about 6'2", light brown hair. Curly probably seems a little disheveled. Ink stains and, well, other stains best not question. Looks like he just got up from some research. What's all this ruckus?
Now see, Charles, you keep taking my things. I'll give you to Malice, and he can bring you back from the dead the same way he did Frankie.
Oh dear. Did you have to mention that?
As I said, they come in twos.
They come in twos.
I was always here. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't even know how to feel about this. There's much to do this evening. I'm gonna go on patrol, I think. Do you mind
now
a hand?
Depends how much more blood do you want to get on that coat.
Well, it washes out fairly easy enough.
Right, then if you wish to come with, then you may.
Sure.
Why are you going to get blood all over your coat?
Oh, when you dig in the bodies of dead things, it's hard not to get some of the opal and detritus.
No. Miss DeAngelis, please keep him out of trouble. Actually, maybe I should be asking the differentiate. How about this? I'm just gonna come with too.
Don't worry, I can keep him out of trouble fine.
Malice, keep her out of trouble.
I'll do my best, darling.
Thank you.
Let's just say I never leave without being well equipped.
It's not the well-equipped part I'm worried about.
Check the trash on your way through.
Yes, I know the protocol, Rodney. Don't you worry your little head about it. You do see that that Liv does have a small case with her. It's like it's about the size of maybe yay by yay.
That's not small.
What's
It's a
that
relatively
in
small
there?
case, considering that she's been seen carrying around a case the size of like a cello case, which is about as
Yes.
tall as me, and I'm like 6 feet tall.
What's that in there?
Oh, just equipment.
She means a gun.
No. Plural, please.
You pretty ladies.
You're not the first one to say that. You're not going to be the last. Shall we?
Of course.
Don't you worry about a thing. There'll be no trouble.
If there were
I
no
give you my
trouble,
word.
you wouldn't be bringing a gun. I'm coming with.
Probably not the best idea. As I said, I'm just going on patrol, checking out the small little hidey spots, checking in with my people, making sure I don't need to shoot anybody in the head. This is just in case I do.
And
It's
now
called
you see
insurance.
why it. And now you end up seeing, Malice, why it is that I am in constant practice of tongue. As one of us is incapable of doing so with any degree of grace or civility.
Come on, you ruined me. I could be exceptionally eloquent when I want to be. The thing is, I just don't give enough of a fuck most of the time.
So when is it you ever wish to be?
In front of the prince, mayhaps.
I imagine sometime during the moment when the moon's heart breaks.
I mean that too.
The moon has a heart.
That's what
Not
one could say.
everything is literal, Rodney.
Well, whilst you attempt to explain it to him, I'm going to get going. I'm gonna get going and doing the rounds for the evening.
Malice
shan't
will
be too long.
accompany you.
And Liv is gonna head out into the streets to go and do her checking. Mainly because I have to go and grab food, so we'll be right back.
Mercy watches Malice leave out the and follows suit at the end, making sure to give Charles a gentle pat on the head before heading.
Malice will make sure the bloodstained coat is left behind. No evidence left upon himself before he joins Liv.
Dana, Rodney, are you following suit?
I'm going back into my hole.
Creaky being back with the rats and cockroaches, which keep pleasant company, no doubt.
There are no rats in there. The cats keep them at bay. We're just two.
Perhaps that makes you a poor house guest.
What do you mean?
Well, we try and be accommodating. It is a hotel, after all.
No guests in this house.
Not anymore.
There weren't pests. Just the skeletons.
Well, no matter how many times they're burned, sanctified, or buried in concrete, they have a tendency of showing up either. But we all have them.
We all have pests.
And skeletons.
Sometimes in closets. Closets are very good for storage. What do you store in your closets?
Oftentimes I end up finding myself storing in, well, I store it in jackets laid upon operations of stillborns.
You have a collection of stillborns in your closet?
Unused tools.
Right. Pretty ladies.
Well, speaking as a fellow dead thing.
Speaking as a fellow
Rodney, you said that you are going to go into your tunnels.
Yes. Yes. You have things to collect. Store. In closets.
Clothes. For closets.
Yes.
Oh, how confounded will I be by the end of this millennia. Gone mad as a Malkavian, no doubt.
Perhaps.
And I know you shall be the one to shepherd me there, Rodney. Slow may be the journey, but you are consistent.
I don't think so. Have a good evening. I think. But he turns and starts walking away.
And as soon as they leave, she just lets out a heavy sigh. Yes, I remember. Practice, practice, practice. Too bad none of them had to deal with a sire that was a lyricist. She takes her journal and starts to head down the hall. It's time to check in on the armory. Probably best to end up keeping a low profile. She will end up taking one of the many hidden pathways. She hates it. That's usually cramped and, well, not exactly designed for a toreador, but it serves its purpose. It's getting too comfortable in this hotel, this gilded cage.
I think that is where we're going to switch scenes to the armory. Dana, you've spent a lot of time here in your life and in your unlife. It seems a little crude these days.
Unfortunate.
But you can't be grateful for small things. Persian is there, belting her heart out as she is tend to do. She's very, very good at the vocals. And your good friend Ted is manning the bar, as he is tend to do.
Persian is a fascinating creature. A so full of rebellious energy, a tone that needs to be carried not just in the room but across the city. Powerful lungs on that one. However, she gets by working as a waitress, but it's good to end up seeing that her and her band are able to take advantage of the stage. I think it's those little pleasures that end up making life worth living, and who am I to deny the living? At least right now. And then there is Ted. Ted is a constant reminder to me that I am rarely the most dangerous thing in the room. When we meet eyes, I have no doubt that he has that same stare. I'm aware that he's dialed me in as a form of predator, as something dangerous. I don't think he understands the nature of it, but it is odd to speak with the kind, and for them to know exactly what the beast is doing, while not recognizing what the beast is. He's a sociopath through and through, a psychopath, really. Trying to keep his own demons at bay. A very long history. I approached the bar. I'm quite aware of what he is, and he's quite aware of what I am, and in doing so, we both dance our masquerade throughout the night. And yet he's quite human. He has a pulse. He breathes. And yet, sometimes I wonder if I'm more human than he is. Curious thought, this dead thing being more alive.
And when you pull up to the bar, it's a fairly empty bar for the moment. Most of the crowd has gone to the pit, thrashing and flailing about. The guttural vocals of Persian inspiring them. And when Ted's eyes meet with yours, a small smirk just kind of curls on his lip for a moment, and he goes back to watching them as you approach. What'll it be, sweet cheeks?
The night's numbers. That's all I need right now, Ted. How's everything going? She pulls out the journal, prepared to receive whatever numbers he needs maintained. It's the small things. It's probably getting pretty close to closing, comparatively. But she's always here.
He pulls out a book and hands it over to you.
As I'm transferring over the numbers, she does everything by hand. She says it's because it's old-fashioned and ink lasts longer than Google. They may say the internet is forever, but, well, the truth of it is that when it comes to the Camarilla, they want as little technology involved as possible. And with Liv being that unliving noose around her neck, waiting for her to slip up, she doesn't even allow that. Honestly, she's surprised she even allowed a card reader in here. When she starts transferring the numbers and starts crunching them, doing so at the side of the bar in order just to keep an eye out.
Ted goes back to cleaning glasses. Sure, that's all you wanted.
Unless you have something that I should know about, or anything strange happened tonight, I think that should be all. Besides, I'm sure everybody wants to go home after tonight. She certainly is giving it her all.
Yeah. She's good. If she needs to work at it. She might even make it big. Who knows? Something coming out of this dumpy old bar, huh?
Yeah. Something coming out of this dumpy old bar. She continues to write down numbers. She's hesitant to end up having a full conversation with Ted for obvious reasons, not the least of which is that the armory right now is packed full of bodies and a lot of people who may hear something. After all, in order to discuss anything, it's often shouted in order to try and get past me from being drowned out in the music. As she's writing, though, she's just listening ever so intently. Her abilities have made her a little bit more sensitive to light and sound. And it can be overwhelming at times. Yet she kind of welcomes it. Her ears are sharper. She can hear every tone. She can hear the vocals made out clear as day. If she really focuses, she could almost feel the collision of body on body in the mosh pit through the floorboards. She's getting to know this place a little too well.
And after the set is over and the crowd has begun to start filing out as you're still toiling away at transferring numbers from Ted's ledger into yours, Persian meets up with you at the bar. Hey.
A fantastic set, my dear.
Yeah, glad you could make it.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, you almost did.
But I didn't. Besides, the evening has been running me ragged.
Yikes. Working too hard?
Takes a lot to keep this old dump still running.
It's not an old dump.
The line's got to get flushed next week. Well, still got to find a headliner for Saturday.
Still haven't got one yet, huh?
The pool of talent is limited. A dying art, so to speak. One that I'm
very
hoping
aware
to preserve.
No,
I feel like this place is a museum.
It's all hip-hop these days, isn't it? Nobody's really wanting to come see a metal band.
Now I'm wounded. Gee.
Well, you're somebody. And I don't know. Maybe it's because...
It's alright, Persian. It's alright. I'm glad that you had fun tonight.
Yeah. It's good seeing you, Dana.
She closes the journal as soon as she's finished. Grabs hold of the other ledger and places it behind the bar for Ted. She just observes the crowd. That sweet smell of sweat. She knows somebody's got clipped because there's that little hint of copper there. You can barely notice it over the stale booze. The other smells that have permeated right into the wood. You could strip this entire place right down to baseboards, right down to foundational architecture. Never get that smell fully out. Sweat, adrenaline, need to be loud that's in this place's bones. That is something that can never be taken away. Dana tries to smile a bit at that thought, but she's more smiling at the crude attempt at poetics in the thought than she is at the actual facts. The fact is that her Toreador Bane is making it very hard to concentrate in here. While it is an experience, it's not beautiful. Where once she absolutely loved this scene, everything about it, its people, its customs. Now, it's like her own blood is trying to crawl out the door to get out of here. Because it's just ugly. It's loud, it's brash, it has no class. And she sits and continues to listen, waiting for everybody to clear out before they start wiping down and putting up stools.
And
I think she just likes... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, by this time, Persian and her band have funneled out and taken leave of the place while Ted's continuing to close up, making sure that everything's wiped down, making sure every chair is turned, and it's about ready to lock up.
I've been assisting him. This is my place after all, and if they don't see me working, then they have no reason to do so. I find myself distracted as I look at some of the shoddy lighting. Fact that there you can literally see the cables running along the ceiling towards the lights front. The sheer amount of dust that is gathered on the fans that have stopped turning for the night. All that's left is the smell. That smell of perspiration and aggression. She puts up the last chair.
Well, it's about time to lock up.
Yeah.
I'm headed out for the night.
It's appreciated, Ted. Thank you for coming in, she says, and then her tone drops. I think I'm having another episode, Ted.
Oh?
I feel the itch.
Hmm.
I'm feeling it. It's crawling under my bones and my marrow. I feel tense.
About what?
Like,
who?
no one, and that's the problem. It's like it just needs an out.
Hmm. You don't have a focus right now?
No. And I'm trying to keep the low profile. Sometimes I think it's a miracle that you do it yourself.
Amusing. It's amusing that it's just amusing. So tell me, as he's kind of locking up and closing the door behind you both. How do you deal with your itches then?
Force it downstairs. Keep it locked in the basement. Keeps clawing at the cage and biting at the locks. I'm just waiting for the day it gets out. But I know it can't come out.
It shouldn't come out, right?
Part of it wants to, though.
It always wants to. Question is, do you have the stomach to tell it no? Or do you have the guts? Just let it be free. Let it run wild for a moment. Rein it back in when you're done. But you're never truly done, are you?
No.
That's the kicker. No. That's the kicker right there. Never truly goes away. Mosh pits tend to get me a little riled up too. You like the smell of it, the sweat. I can see it in your eyes. The way you stare at them.
It's like watching an ocean. The tide rolls in and the tide rolls out, and you can almost set your watch to it.
And all you want to do is dip your toes in.
Got it.
Well,
low profile, right?
Low profile. Because the minute you let it happen, without checking it first, it's the minute it takes you over. You're the boss, Dana. Don't let the itch be the boss. It ends badly for everybody.
Thanks for hearing me out, Ted.
Anytime.
She starts to walk away. There's no reason for a handshake. Handshake is for people. Her and Ted hardly qualify for different reasons. But they know well enough. There's something in him that's broken and vicious. Just like her.
I think that's where we're going to switch scenes. And follow our two lovely Hakata and a Toreador out on their rounds. Live this particular little jaunt is nothing new. It's peaceful tonight. Hardly a peep out there.
Oh, now that's just a real shame.
It is a real shame. You were kind of looking forward to getting the muzzle of your gun a little dirty, but thankfully, maybe to some others, that's no thing tonight.
Oh, real shame. Well, that happens, I suppose. And Mercy and Malice would both play witness to the way that Liv moves around the city. It's like stalking, almost. The places she goes, the things that you experience by the little hidey holes that you're shown by virtue of being with her. You feel like there's very little that would slip past her notice.
She'd be like a little alley cat, ain't she?
Well, you can definitely tell that the way that she hunts and looks around and assesses things, that might be somewhat similar to the way that you do things, Mercy. Although hers is less physical expression and more an expression of herself, of her, the very force of her being impressed upon another. And it's kind of odd that she's so forceful about things. Just not by virtue of any actual application of force, but just the in the way that she is. And that would be when you two might spot it. Maybe just out of the very corners of your eye. This, as the rounds are finishing and she nods to you two that it's time to go back to the car and get out of here, there's a flicker of something. The shadow, perhaps. Lightly distending and dancing on its own, but it's such a flash that maybe you saw something, maybe you didn't.
Would I have seen this?
That would be up to the ST.
That's what I'm asking.
If Liv is doing something with rapid reflexes?
No, it's the very slight flickering of her shadows from that other thing that she possesses.
The flickering of the shadows is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to make a roll, that is a wits occult.
Alrighty. Can do that. With occult, you say? Right. 4, 5. Go.
Sorry, how many?
5 critical.
5 on a crit?
Oh yeah.
Then yeah, I think you'd be aware of what that is.
Okay.
That is the slight flicker of oblivion.
I thought so. Us
And
would be
seeing that you're
better.
steeped in that, what is an easy tell for you?
Alice won't dig too deep into that. He'll just tuck that knowledge away. Interesting. I didn't trust that bitch.
Well, she's not even aware that anything's happened. She's simply walking with you two back to the car after having checked one of the small armories tucked into this particular part of the domain, making sure that everything was stocked and that nobody had been by, and it was uneventful, which you did hear her quietly bemoan under her breath.
Find everything you need, Miss DeAngelis.
Well, everything's in order, but that's kind of the problem. It's a shame.
Why is that a problem and a shame? Are you looking for trouble?
Trouble? No. But leads, information, and I mean, if I get to get my hands dirty, then so be it.
Alice will step closer and lower his tone a bit. What's that back there?
Hmm?
No.
What?
I don't know. His voice and tone will get a little bit lower. You don't know what you just did, do you?
Well, I suppose that depends on what you're talking about, because I'm confused.
I don't know what you just did back there. And with them shadows.
Y'all just want to get in the car.
We're still walking to the car, and
Yeah.
Malice is very low in tone of voice.
Wouldn't have to
You might
whisper.
be able to hear. It has nothing to do with more as don't know what's around and might be trying to listen.
Shadow. Ah.
Yeah, that little bit of shadow play back there. They ever taught you about that?
If you're talking about that particular little bit of trivia, then yeah, you could say that. And she's not really wound up or anything by you speaking about it. She does kind of turn. Why do you ask?
The more you play with that, the more you invite things in. So I don't reckon you can know what they're capable of.
She seems to consider the words for a few moments as they reach the car, and Liv hops in the driver's seat, popping the one of the back doors and the passenger side door open for the other two.
Mercy, for whatever reason, had already ergo her calling back to them.
And as the doors of the car are shut and they begin to pull away from their parking spot, Liv speaks in a tone that's very obviously loud enough for both of them to hear. Both Mercy and Malice at us. Oh, that I'm well aware of. Call it something that I picked up along the road that serves its purpose just as it is.
With my knowledge of Oblivion,
Mm-hmm.
know what aspect of that it would be for the
Um,
cloak or
let me look.
Shadowcast?
I'm looking here. You would know it's Oblivion, but as far as a recognizable power, you have no
One
idea.
of the
You're
shadows.
steeped in necromancy. Others have demonstrated other Oblivion powers, but that's all you know about it.
Oh, it's one of the shadow powers. Beyond that, I don't know anything.
That's all you really know. Yep. Your focus has been on the necromantic.
Yes.
Not necessarily shadow play.
Came off as shadow play. That's all I'm getting from it. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I figured it'd be a good prompt to conversation instead of character.
Yeah, I love it.
And
Continue.
Liv looks to Mercy as they're talking. So, tell me, Mercy, was it?
That's correct.
You and Malice here seem a little buddy-buddy. How'd that come about?
He's my brother.
She's my sister.
Like,
Yes.
how-
Like you and Dana? No.
Yeah. They're closer than that. I should say something that's pretty typical of our clan is what I hear. Keep it in
Oh.
the family and all that.
Liv kind of just cringes a little.
Keep your mind out of the gutter.
Look,
We've all heard it.
in my time around, I've heard things. Okay, what you do in your private time is your business, and I'm not gonna judge you. But it's even the thoughts a little
Makes your stomach turn a little.
yeah, it makes my stomach turn a little. But no judgment. Whatever floats your boat or sinks it, I guess.
You're getting some weird inclination. Allow us to clarify. No, we are not a couple. There's nothing like that. Brother, sister.
That is not at all what I was inferring, but alright. But no,
What
good
kind
to
of
know.
sick fuck are you implying? Please enlighten me.
You know what? Let's not. For the both of our sakes, let's not.
No, please, Miss DeAngelis, you dug your own hole on this. Now you gotta go through with it. Announce to the
Let's
class. What's on your mind?
Let's just say involving the clan of death that I have heard things that regular people might find distasteful, taboo, distasteful, both.
Is it that you've heard, Miss DeAngelis?
Yeah, about the clan in general, not not talking about you two in specific, just the clan in general, and all of the things that are implied.
What is implied is what I'm asking.
Have you not heard of the stories of the Giovanni when they say they're keeping it in the family?
Which stories might that be? Because everyone in our clan is family. I'll have to elaborate a little. I do apologize if I seem a bit obtuse. No meaning, but no, I've not heard.
Oh, well, I apologize because what I'm about to tell you is something that is what one would consider to be remarkably unpleasant. And so I think, how do I explain this? Oh dear.
Of all the times you choose not to be uncouth.
Well, it's not a matter. It's not a matter of being uncouth. It's just you said it, and that's what came to mind. Because unfortunately, associations happen. Although I'll note, this is why I don't do the talking. I normally leave that to my dear sister. She's more the cunning linguist between the two of us.
Clearly.
Us will
Well-
chuckle and snort at that.
Well, you've heard her way of articulation. But
It's more eloquent than you.
yes, I'm sure the observations of the past couple of minutes would have showed that very obviously. Right. So I've heard stories from my sire and of the various people that I've come into contact with over my time, as I am, about the clan of death and their tendency to take keeping it in the family maybe a little too literally than most might like. I'm also going to point out that you really shouldn't shoot the messenger. I'm not the one who thinks this. I don't know what to think about this at this point in time. It's just things that I've heard. And so when you said that, my mind went to what had been told, and well, here we are.
As I said, I don't know what you've been told.
Let's just say it's
Unless I'm digging around in your case, I'm not grabbing a gun.
Yeah, probably best not to dig around in there, but
You're implying incest.
I'm not implying anything. This is just what I've heard.
It's the implication
I
from what you
don't
just
know
stated.
you two. I mean, to be fair, Mercy, I don't know you from a hole in the ground at the moment, and Malice, I know you marginally better. So no, there's no implication here. Inference, but no implication. I wouldn't dare do that against people I barely know, for one, versus,
of all these years, the one thing Magdalene decided not to tell me, this was it.
Yeah. Apparently, didn't know we were supposed to be from West Virginia. Thought we from Mississippi.
Apparently Southern means the same thing regardless.
Apparently, I don't know.
Test is best. Put your cousin to the test. What it is.
Ah. Liv is kind of half cringing, half laughing at this point. Like, look, I know I
Plus,
stuck
is
my
completely
foot.
straight faced.
Look,
Mojo,
look. I'm not making any. I'm just gonna say it for the record. I'm not making any implications of the two of you at all. But I mean, I suppose you should probably, if you weren't told of that
no! Miss
little
DeAngelis,
rumor.
please just drive. Please just drive.
No, I'm driving. But it's probably better that you hear it from someone who's not gonna judge you before someone decides to actually make a
Oh
judging
no,
expense about
no,
it.
you're judging. You're judging. You just know you're gonna get fucking killed for it. You say a single damn thing. Let's just go. Just go. Conversation over. We're done.
I'm not judging, but all right. back to the hotel. Whereupon whereupon they re-enter. See, this is why Liv's dumps down as manipulation. She's very forceful in personality. She has a high charisma.
No.
This is just when you need to learn to stop talking.
Liv does, yes.
With that being said, all of you will eventually return to the hotel.
Well, I think we still have our dear Nosferatu friend, Rodney, to still have a scene.
Yes.
Oh man, he's just digging through trash right now. Oh,
Digging through trash. What do you find?
I don't know.
Anything and everything. Old letters,
Pieces of paper,
little trinkets here and there.
just anything that seems like it might be useful. Maybe somebody's old keys.
I found a really nice shirt. That might actually fit.
Ooh, shirt.
Something new to wear. It might cover just the top half of you, like a crop top.
That's fashionable, right?
Crop tops are all the fashion. They're all the rage.
Yeah.
When he walks back into the hotel, he's wearing it like a crop top.
Oh,
Does his little strut.
oh, dear God, Rodney.
It's the fashion, right?
Excuse me, I feel like I've been flashbanged. Ah!
What do you think? I said
I
it, dear
can't-
friend.
Liv,
I can't imagine an entire mob wanting to do so with you, Liv, but thank you. Flashbanged.
What?
Oh dear God! Liv is just kind of trying to avert her eyes from Rodney. Yes, I got that, Dana. Thank you for your insight.
You don't like it?
Wait,
It is
I thought
atrocious
this was
to look
trend.
at, Eudorador.
Yeah.
I thought this was the trend.
Is a trend. I just don't think it's one for you, my friend.
That's sad.
How avant-garde.
At least she appreciates
that
it,
mouse,
Rodney.
you're,
She appreciates you.
Exactly. Dana appreciates it.
Definitely looks comfy. At the very least.
That's a word for it.
Mercy appreciates it too. Ha! I have a
I
win.
never said I didn't appreciate it. I just said I wasn't exactly sure that this was a look for you.
Okay.
Okay. Eyes have adjusted. And it's Rodney.
Yes.
I am pleased to know that you have begun collecting for a new club.
That was what you were doing, wasn't it? That was the whole goal of
Yes.
going through that thing. You got distracted. But you found a shirt.
I found a
To go
and
in the
some
closet.
keys.
Keys.
Keys. He holds them up and jingles them.
Is that gonna make a cat come running?
The cat's
I
just
don't
kind of
know.
nuzzled just like up on his
On
haunch.
the haunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of nuzzled, just kind of nuzzling the side of your head now and again.
I kind of imagine that hunch actually has a natural indent that's just perfect shape for the cat.
Yeah, it's called the
Yeah.
back of his neck.
Kind of kneading, making
So-
biscuits.
Please don't mix your keys with mine.
Or mine.
Well, I'll mix my keys with my keys.
Do you have a giant keychain? Just a very large one covered in keys?
No, Rodney
Yes.
has several.
It's
Yes.
I'm impressed.
and together. It's probably a collection of key rings with keys filled with key rings with
Key chain. It's a very specific set of words. And it's quite literal.
Would you like to see?
I would.
probably
It sounds
Sure.
like
someone
a piece
with
of
it.
modern art.
And lo, we observe the introduction of Ebenezer's, the greatest and first adversary from the afterlife.
Rodney just turns and he starts walking down the hallway
This will follow.
to his little cluttered section of the hotel.
And it
Please tell me
is
this is literally 12 feet worth of interlock keychains.
Where he has to go digging for a little while before he can find them. But eventually he just
it is
keeps
a
on.
pile
It-
of mess in this room. It
If
is
anything that apologize.
it is stacked upon stacked upon stacked. And when Rodney says he's digging for a while, it is through literally everything. This is a house worth or more of stuff in this house.
It just seems like the deeper you go, the more stuff there is, and the more it seems to encompass, like a cave entrance.
Looks like
Malice
my
is-
great aunt Mimi's. Ugh.
Malice is watching all of this, seeing if there's anything identifiable about all the stuff that Rodney is digging through before they even get to the keys to remember where shit goes. He hates when you misplace his things.
There's a system of
Organized chaos.
That's disorganization.
yes.
It's organized disorganization.
He seems to know where everything is, but it's really hard to wrap your head around the system.
You
Malice
lose
is
track
just
pretty quickly.
Alice is just watching all of this to an idea of where things are, where they were.
there are actually probably a few moments where you actually lose him in the tunnels of shit.
It's
Probably
that
hear
bad.
cats off in the distance meowing in amongst everything.
Yeah.
Charlie.
How many cats does
Charles
Rodney
is-
have?
And Charles is the main one, but there's a whole horde of them somewhere.
I said, how many does Rodney have?
He doesn't. They keep breeding.
A horde of cats.
What happens when you don't have them spayed and neutered?
It's just cats.
Why would you want
That's why I
that?
don't go in there anymore.
That's mean. Why would you do that? They need to be able to breed. Who doesn't like cats?
Because then you wind up with a horde of a horde. A horde. And that's just too damn many cats to have in one small space.
Noted.
They go out and then they come back. They come out. They come back. Some of them don't, but they come back.
It's presumable as we're walking through this collection of Rodneys, there is an indistinguishable scent of ammonia.
Oh yeah.
Very, very strong, even to the point that Kindred's nose would probably be buzzed off. That said,
It's a good thing this is down in the tunnels and not in the actual hotel.
Yeah.
yeah, I can at least pretend I don't smell it.
Are you sure a couple of them haven't crawled in this box to, well, do whatever it is they do or die?
That box?
Any of these boxes.
Well, that one in specific. No. That one over there, though, maybe. I think that one has a new litter.
Oh.
Out of curiosity, Rodney, of these boxes, which ones you want us, you okay with us getting into purpose, and which ones you don't want us touching at all?
Getting into.
Well, I guess presumably the ones you don't want touching or getting into, they're already hidden away. I'm not gonna question that too much.
But these are all my boxes. Why would you go into any of them?
In case I intend to add to them.
You show me first, and then I will add to them.
Sounds like an appropriate deal. Yeah, I don't think too many critters are gonna be coming in here to... Aside from us. Should be proud of that.
Secure. Everything has to be secure. And my cats, they see everything.
So bring your cats.
What?
So bring your cats.
They see everything. So yeah.
Cats it is.
Cats are good. They do a lot of talking.
Cats talk.
Yeah. All animals talk. You didn't know that?
There's some better than others, but what do cats say? Oh, I did not know that.
It depends on what they've seen.
Sometimes they talk about useful things, and sometimes they don't.
Also raise a hand behind his back with just the middle finger raised. The cat see that?
Probably.
Yeah, it says fuck you.
It said fuck you.
What's up, kid? And you see
Wait, who's this?
You see your sire, Ianto.
Hi, Yanto.
Ah, Liv almost jumps. She's like,
I did
Yanta.
say they come in twos.
You did. Good evening, Yanto.
Good evening, Liv. Pleasure to see you, as
Hey,
always.
Marcy.
Likewise.
Very
Is-
good,
Great
sir.
pleasure to have you in our abode.
Rodney, what have I told you about cleaning up after your cats?
I have been.
It's bad.
It keeps people out.
To be fair, we don't come down here.
Right. Makes sense. It's bad though. It's
I
it's
was like,
it's real rank. I can't handle this no more. Mm-mm.
I
What brings
would,
you
but
here,
the last
Yanto?
It's just I'm befuddled now. I came just to swing by, and you're wearing a crop top.
I don't know what to tell you.
Appreciate it, or at least one of them does.
I don't know what to tell you. I wish I knew, but I don't. I don't know how to explain any of this.
He's trying to get in with the in crowd. Be part of the young.
If you want to get in with the in crowd, talk to Dana. Talk to Dana.
Yeah.
You don't like it. Your face says you don't like it.
Rodney, we've been over this many times, and many, many times in the years that we've known each other, my friend.
I have weapons to go clean. I'll talk to you guys later. And she's gonna head back to her room as fast as her legs can possibly take her whilst maintaining decorum and not sprinting.
I believe that the design itself is what one might be referred to as stress couture.
Stress couture.
Suffice it to
cleaned
say,
out.
might I end up asking what ends up bringing you into our lovely abode?
Right. Well, I happened to be in the area, was just passing through, and,
And of course, honoring the tradition of the domain.
Of course.
Telling us that you were
That I
coming to check in on your child.
yes,
sure.
yes. Where are my manners? Exactly.
You have met the two newcomers then.
I've heard of both of you. And, I've heard nice things. For Hecata.
Allow me to introduce Malice and Mercy. Two sides of the same coin, currently flipping to find out whether it'll land heads or on its tail.
Yes, I would say about sums it up, I guess.
Humans, how was it?
Yanto Vaughn. Yes.
Malice.
Pleasure to meet you, Malice. And he holds out a bandage-wrapped, kind of gangly-looking hand.
Malice will take his hand.
Bandages are kind of slimy.
You know, Alice doesn't care. He's trying to hold the. Offered his hand. Malice will do the same. Not even trying for the grip. Strength is way beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would I happen to know Ianto's official position in the court?
That's an intelligence politics.
Well, time to see if Derek Dice happens again.
Oh, Derek Dice.
Mr. Vaughn,
Derek Dice.
my name's Mercy.
Pleasure to meet you, Mercy.
Three's not too bad.
She also extends for a handshake.
And he, again, a slimy-ish, gangly, bandaged hand. You get the distinct sense that the distinct impression that it is possible that his flesh just kind of oozes sometimes, and it's kind of gross. To answer your question, Derek, you would know that he is known to be an information broker, often employing his own childer, but often also working on his own.
And a shared sense of fashion.
Well,
outside of the current ensemble that Rodney is wearing.
Outside of the current ensemble, he's not nearly as tall or hunched. He's more
Oozy.
rightfully human-shaped, except that he's a little oozy looking, and his bandages definitely hint towards that. They could probably be changed.
I can do that for you.
Nah, it's...
I would be down here more often, but the last time I tried to help Rodney organize, they damn near beat me to death for misplacing a few of their precious items.
Yeah, don't touch his shit.
Yeah.
Don't touch his shit.
How eloquently placed and put.
Straightforward and to the point. But, yes. Rodney?
Yes.
First thing I'm going to ask you to do is to clean your damn room. Second of all, is, I may need you for something.
What do you need me for?
Well, you want these tunnels built, right?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna need your help doing that.
Okay.
Cool.
When do we start?
Later tonight. I've got another thing that I'm doing.
Okay.
Midnight-ish?
I will be here. Yes.
Okay. Sweet. So, ladies,
I think it's at this point I'll take my leave to end up checking on De Angelis. I hope that everything will be keeping you comfortable, Ianto Von.
yeah, as I said, I was just stopping through on my way to another thing, and
What other thing would that be?
another more important thing.
Thing is a thing is a thing is a thing.
Until it's not a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Even
have
then, it's still a
anything.
thing.
I followed that conversation this time. But, yes, I'm on my way to a thing. I should get going. I will be running late if I'm not.
Of course. Be well and safe travels. Ianta Von. Clan Nosferatu.
Thank you, Miss Dana Rain of Clan Torianor. Miss
If you
Mercy,
excuse
Miss Rodney, Mr. Malice.
Bye.
Nice to
He
make
kind of
your acquaintance.
tips his hat and turns around to leave out a different direction than he came. Not that you really were aware of which direction he came from.
Well, I mean, if he does, he'll pass where Liv is run off to.
If he
And
goes out that way.
If he does end up having to go past that way to go out in a different direction,
I imagine Liv is currently retching somewhere deeper in the tunnels.
no, she went to she needed to test the chambering mechanism on another weapon.
She needed to recalibrate.
Yeah, and so as he walks by, there's the sound of a gun chambering around. I heard catchy answer.
Cats.
Just casually.
I need to feed my cats. Rodney takes off down to his room.
He got that from that. Ugh, whatever. I don't dare to understand anything anymore. Did I ever?
And the five of you are left in the tunnels.
I'm just glad I kept up.
If you'll pardon, I'm going to excuse myself before the smell of ammonia starts to set in.
That sounds like a good plan. Rodney, I'll be catching you later.
Okay.
Try and find that trash cat you were talking about earlier.
Sounds.
Like a plan. I won't be here after midnight.
Gotcha.
Alice, given what he knows of the domain and the haven, is going to take a minute. And where the shroud thins. See if he can get an idea.
An idea of what?
What may have happened to give this place the feeling that it has.
Well, that is something that we can explore in the future, as it will likely take more than just a simple roll, but that is where we are going to conclude Session 0 of War in the Soul City. We'll be back next Wednesday for Episode 1, but in the meantime, we're going to do some quick shout-outs. So, for our lovely streamers, the Gathering of Nerds, Macabre Derek, you all have things coming up. So, Derek, please give us an idea of where it is we can find you and what it is you do. You're muted.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Macabre Derek, and you can find me currently being used as a lazy boy for a cat. But that being said, you can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/MacabreDerek. And because of that, you can also end up finding me tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, where we end up doing more Drawing on the Macabre, where I continue to end up doing illustrations for Vampire the Masquerade Chronicles, my own studies. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. If you enjoy horror, you enjoy comics, it's definitely a place to check out. If you're a big fan of Vampire the Masquerade, I would also suggest you come in on Sunday at 6:30 Central Standard Time, because I run Edmonton by Night Blood Sands, where CoffeeCat themselves was or is a player, and Lethality, unfortunately, I guess I have to announce, was a player.
Yeah.
But that being said, I also run a Vampire the Masquerade workshop on Mondays. So if you like Vampire, if you love the illustrations, if you'd like to get just that little bit creepy, come on down. We'll be having a lot of fun together.
Speaking of nerds, Gavin, what are the nerds doing?
Right, yes. Yes, my name is Lethality Complex, and when I'm not sticking my wit in my mouth and digging a hole, you can find me on the Gathering of Nerds. It's actually probably where you're going to find me most times, as I heard during the stream, I got a new job opportunity, so it means that unfortunately Liv's going to be going into NPC mode, as will be the same with a lot of the other streams that I'm doing, except for Wednesday evenings, like Wednesday evenings Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Wednesday morning American time, where you can find me on the multiplayer stream where we do multiplayer things. Last evening it was me playing some Final Fantasy 14, as it was just a very chill stream. Watching a bunny lady trying to climb a mountain. It was a good time. We just hung out, talked, and I mentioned about me getting repeatedly poisoned to death. Yeah, that's all it does. That's about as much as I could say. Of all the changes and all the days for that to come.
Well, Moxie, do you have anything that you're doing on the nerds?
Not at the moment, but please do come and check us out. I'm on there occasionally, generally when I have time. These days, time is rather short. But yes, definitely come and check us out. And if you haven't subscribed or followed CoffeeCat yet, please do. They do some incredible stuff. So yeah.
I try.
Do it.
I do
Do
try.
it now. NOAW now.
No.
Live.
But yes, I am the storyteller, obviously, for this lovely chronicle, the prequel to our San Antonio by Night series. And next time, we'll be doing episode 1 and get really into the thick things. And if at any point you need any of my social links, if you need any place to find VODs, things of that sort, always just check out CoffeeCatPresents.com for all of your CoffeeCat needs, whatever those may be. So, without much else to say, thank you to my cast for playing, and thank you all for watching. Say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Charles!
Charles!
Don't get into too much trouble.